Think of the passion, God love everlasting. Keep the law of the land and book in case you're asking. Moving forward to the learning and it's free. Cause I know that God know the combo go with Sister E. Love talk Sister E. God work Sister E. Charity Sister E. Let's talk with Sister E. All different type of information every week. Let me speak. If you subscribe, we going deep. Love talk Sister E. God's work Sister E. Charity Sister E. Let's talk with Sister E. Think of the passion, God love everlasting. Keep the law of the land and book in case you're asking. Moving forward to the learning and it's free. Cause I know that God know the combo go with Sister E. Love talk Sister E. God work Sister E. Charity Sister E. Let's talk with Sister E. All different type of information every week. Let me speak. If you subscribe, we going deep. Love talk Sister E. God's work Sister E. Charity Sister E. Let's talk with Sister E.
What's going on, family? Trying to get set up. Give me a few seconds. I just got through eating dinner as well. We made grilled jerk chicken sandwiches, meaning I didn't fry it. It was fried, but it was, it's grilled chicken. So I made that for dinner. So let me change browsers real quick, family, because the current browser I accidentally went to the Edge browser and it is horrible. So let me change browsers. I'll be right back. I'm changing browsers. I'm trying to say it right. So I'll be right back. All right. Well, y'all saw my government name. I don't care about telling people my government name, so I don't hide that. So yeah, but I accidentally had it on there. I just removed it so folks wouldn't be mispronouncing my name first. So with that being said, y'all, let me tell y'all something. As I drink my little juice for tonight, this is interesting right now. The things that we're seeing. Again, y'all bear with me. I'm trying to get started. Like I said, we just got through eating dinner. Me and my daughter and her friends, they just got through eating. Like I said, I make jerk chicken sandwiches tonight. It was really good, y'all. We use this Kewpie's mayo with pickles. Well, I use jalapeno peppers with lettuce, tomato. Oh, a good bun. It was delicious. It was really good. Um, so we just got to eat. I know it's late for the Saints that don't eat after 8 o'clock. It's late. Rio's mad because he can't have any. Jerk chicken is too spicy. So what I did was take that jerk seasoning that everybody buy that's in a jar, thinly sliced chicken breast, not the thick chicken breast, but the thinly sliced chicken breast. Let it marinate. Hold on one second. Let me pause for a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to mute out for a second. I had to step away because Rio was doing the most, but I'm back. But what I did was take some thinly sliced chicken breast, put some jerk chicken on it, added some grilled onions in it, sauteed the green onions, not the green onions, but the actual yellow onions in it after I kind of fix the chicken. I use the same, you know how you do it. You put the chicken in the pan, saute it, take the chicken out, and then put the veggies in it. And I created like this little Kewpies. I was gonna do like a jerk mayo, but I think it would have been too much, too overwhelming. So I just use a Kewpies, if you ever heard of it, mayo. Add jalapeno peppers and added like provolone cheese. Made the sandwich. Oh, the sandwich was delicious. So that was dinner for us tonight. Um, so I just finished up on that. Um, but with that being said, y'all, all right, y'all, make sure. Let me send in a point. Let me put this out here real quick. So everybody that was a part of the actual um no strike zone event that we had where we talked about the Goshen Project, I provided the email to Sheila, and Sheila sent the invites out to everybody who wanted to attend. If you want to attend and you were not a part of the No Strike Zone, the Goshen Project, I will have it on my community tab on my page, my post, and I'll make sure so that you can be able to sign up on her on Sheila Rochelle's site. It's a site that she has, and you can be able to do like conversations and all that. It's a really cool site she had created. So we can have a discussion on the Goshen Project. In this project, the main purpose or the goal, or rather the mission, is for those who opt out to do the, because some are trying to do the big, the return, which that's a whole nother conversation within itself. But ultimately, those who are opting out of that, who says that, somebody got to stay here and see to, their family members, and see, to the elderly, see to the orphan, which is a commandment that's given upon us, see to the homeless, see to the poor that will be stuck here while the rest of us have gathered our funds and ran and left and went to Africa, um, and left them here destitute. Some of us have opted to say, you know what, we're gonna stand on His word and His commandments. For those who can't go, we're gonna be here for them. Now, keep in mind, y'all, if I wanted to go, I could go, but I opt out. I don't think this is. I don't think the approach is well thought out, because we've seen numerous efforts fall apart. Numerous people have come back with these multiple African, go back to Africa efforts, and we've seen it. It's never been successful. Not, and I'm not speaking it on them, because if they find success in it, so be it. But I'm looking from a historical standpoint. We haven't seen the pure essence of the success. So I don't, I'm just not here for it. But ultimately, those who says that, you know what, I'm waiting for the Father to gather us while we're, bunkering here. Um, um, while we're bunkering here, we have an effort called the Goshen Project, and it's just started. Like I said, y'all, a couple of days, like just a brainchild here recently. Um, where we're trying to figure out how we're going to function as a network within the US. And I would say that those who are in UK, who are in the Caribbean, who are not a part of the US, you can actually be a part of it, because you can build your own Goshen within your community, where people can survive and sustain themselves. During the famine, during the time of Joseph, they didn't run. They all settled down in Goshen. And there was a Joseph that decided to make sure that they put food and everything aside for the famine. And that's the goal: put things aside for the famine and the concern, and figure out how we're going to function as a community unit. Well, community, to be able to weather the storm, whatever storm that comes. And that's the ultimate goal of this effort. Is for those who opt to go to Africa. I'm not, and let me clear this up, I'm not judging you. You can go. Um, but for those who opt to stay, we have to come together and put our brains together and figure out how we're going to function as a unit within the four corners, not just within the US, but understand how we're going to function as a community in the four corners. Because we always talk about flee America, and we forget our brothers and sisters that are in the UK and don't realize that the UK is going to have their own issues. Our people that are scattered across the four corners, that this is a Babylonian system that goes beyond just the US, but it's a worldwide event. How are they going to function? So the goal here is get a plan together. From a monetary standpoint, that's not even a discussion point. I would rather for my people to take the money that they have and figure out how they're going to function. This is not a money grab. This is not a need to, well, send me $5,000 so that I can, no, that's not it. Your money is your money. That's the goal, to make sure that we figure out how we can, function within a unit. That's the goal. Tell me if that makes sense. If that makes sense. And again, I don't knock the efforts of everyone else, but everybody seems to forget about the people they can't go. And the ones that can't go, I don't ever want to put doom and gloom and death on you. And I just don't. I want to speak life into my community, the ones that can't go and don't want to go for whatever reasons. So for those who opt to stay, to say, you know what? If all hell breaks loose, we all together. We all we got. And figure out how we're going to make it through it. Like I said, Joseph set food aside, and during the famine, they shut those gates and they made it in Goshen. And that's why we want to say the Goshen Project, because now you have multiple Goshens now. And then when the Most High, because it's an order to it. There was a famine. There were things that transpired. And then ultimately children got put in captivity. But yet and still, when it was time to go, there was a sign. And the sign was by way of Moses, a man that had a connection with God. And Moses told him to, free my people. And he gave a direct order to Moses to lead their people out of Egypt. People love to say, well, some may have stayed. That's not even scriptural. I've never heard about any of them staying in Egypt. I think a lot of people are making assumptions. Everybody left, and they left together. So now that we have no more Moses and we have Christ, we're waiting on Christ to come and lead us out of this. So until Christ comes, we gotta hunker down and keep going and continue on with the Great Commission, which is spreading the gospel. While we making sure, like I said, that people can eat, people can live, people can sustain. There are multiple people that have reached out to me that are within the farming industry, that are within the medical field. It's numerous people that have reached out to say, I want to help with this effort. Again, this is a new effort. It's young. We just birthed it just here recently. I praise the Most High for the people that have rallied together and said, let's do this, for people like Sheila Rochelle and Angie Love, Ruhama, Timothy, Cindy came in. I hope you love. Yeah, a lot of people came in. I can't pronounce your name. Aerospike, different people have come in and said, I want to help with this effort. And I forget if I've forgotten your name. Please forgive me, y'all. Please forgive me. It's late at night. I'm sleepy. But numerous people have spoke out and said, hey, I that's not my goal and my plan. So to leave and go to Africa, run to Africa rather. I don't believe in running to Africa. There is no place of safety. There's nowhere to run. When the Most High, He says that He's going to get those who have scattered Israel. There's more than just the U.S. that's scattered. You have Spain, you have the European nations, you have the Arab nations, you have some African nations that had a hand in the scattering of Israel. So He said He's going to deal with those nations. that have scattered Israel. That's why judgment is not just going to be within the U.S., but the judgment is going to be a worldwide event because Babylon itself is worldwide. So, with that being said, we wanted to build a network within that can kind of see us through the storm, like with Joseph, and we'll go from there. So that's the purpose of the effort. Again, it's small, it's not big. We just started. It's just a small community of us that says that hey, we got to figure out. So we're getting ready, just at least get a list of people that want to be involved. So for those who want to be involved, like I said, I will post Sheila's website on my page when I on my YouTube community or my post tab. When I do that, and Andrew or Sheila, if y'all are in the chat, please drop the link if you have it so I can share it with the family and let them see it and I can pin it. Actually pin it on the page. But if you're interested in it, I'm gonna have it on my YouTube, where we used to call it the community tab. Now they call it post, where you'll be able to get access and sign up. The next meeting is planned for Sunday, this Sunday, 4:30, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, um, which is 3:30 Central. And again, we don't want to keep y'all long. We just want to kind of get started and brainstorm and how we're going to do this. Like I said, we're young. We just started. It's nothing fancy. If you want something fancy, that's not what we have. We're just a group of individuals that's just coming together to try to figure out how to weather through the storm for those who opt to stay. We need to be able to talk through having a stockpile of medicine for our elderly. A lot of people in our community who deal with diabetes. They're going to need insulin. How can we stockpile insulin? How can we stockpile high blood pressure medicine? How can we be able to get a hold to things that we need for the elderly, but also use holistic things to support the need? You know, you have herbal things. One thing that I respect about Sheila is Sheila will tell you, if you're in my program, and I see your link, I'm gonna show your link in the community. I'm gonna show your link in just a second, Sheila. But one thing I do respect about Sheila is she'll say, follow my plan, but if you're on medication, do not get off of your medication. Work with your doctors to work towards getting off the meds, but working towards trying to build something where we have our own Goshen, and we can be able to function. So let me share the link to it. One second. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I was trying to get the link that Sheila provided me so you can see her website. Uh, Wait a minute. It says the site cannot be reached. Hey, is the site? Can you check the site, Sheila? Because for some reason I'm getting the. Wait a minute, it's coming up now. All right, so I'm gonna share the link. Um, Again, this is where you would sign up for the next meeting. Let me share. So you would join, hit the join button. Am I doing it right, Sheila? Hold on. Okay, so I got it yesterday. Oh, Sheila, can you walk us through it? Where do I go? So, am I in the right place? Okay. So, where do I go? Uh, hope I'm going the right place. Sheila, I need a little guidance. I need a little guidance. Join now. It says join now. I guess because I've already joined, it's not taking me to the join page. Choose the option. Am I in the right place? So I guess you click access. All right, come on. Is this it? Is this the right page? And then you create an account. Is that correct, Sheila? Yeah, I'm already a member. So um I guess once you create the account, okay, so create the account. And once you create the account, what room are they're supposed to go to once they create the account? So I've already got an account created. Okay, so sign in. Let me hold on. Let me stop sharing for a minute. So okay, so let me sign in. I'm signing in right now. And I'll show y'all how to get there. So once you sign in, okay, and you sign up, let me share my page. You are right here. So right here, you should see. Trying to see, where am I going, Sheila? Tell me where I'm going. Am I in the right section? Would you mind coming up here and walking us through it? If I drop the link for you, if you have a moment, I'll drop the link and you kind of walk us through it, because I want to make sure everybody's aware of how to get to it. So I'm gonna drop the link for Sheila. And then after that, we'll go straight to the conversation. But again, y'all, while Sheila, this is for those. I mean, keep in mind, this is for those who just say, I can't go. I don't want to go to Africa. I don't feel comfortable going to Africa. I don't have the money going to go to Africa. I don't want to leave my mom. I don't want to leave my sisters. I don't want to leave my family. I don't want to leave my family here. I don't want to see my family die. Like they love to say. They love to say we gonna be here. We just gonna die. And really, the reason people are going to die is because of sin. So, and there are going to be some martyrs. I do say it is going to some people that are going to have to lay their life on the line, but that's the worldwide event. If you don't take the mark of the beast is not going to be just here. The beast system is worldwide. So I'm a leader right there. All right, Sheila, welcome. So where do I go?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. Oh, I see
Okay.
it right here. The Goshen
I
Project.
created. Yes.
It's two of them. Which one? You got the Goshen Project, and then you have.
Okay, the Goshen Project. That's no, no.
Is
Why
that
is
not
the
it?
back feed? Is that me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, the Goshen Project. When you see that all everything you see on that left side right there. Those are the categories. You click it. You click once you click on that arrow, it's going to. It's that's like oh, this is what's in that file cabinet. What's in the file? What's in the Goshen Project file cabinet? Okay, we right here. It's just it's the gathering room. Now we're in the gathering room of the gospel of the Goshen Project right here. It's fresh, right? This is the beginning of it, and this is where we're going to have the on Sunday in this room.
Okay. So keep in mind, y'all. She dropped the link. I'm gonna drop the link as well. Create an account. Once you create an account, go to the sidebar. Once you get into the actual website itself, and then you go down to because you have an arrow right here that says just the Goshen Project, but then the Goshen Project Gathering Room. Click that. Once you click that, you hit that button I hit to join RSVP. So just go here and do that. If y'all have any issues, please let me know. Let me go ahead and put it in here, and then what you can do is I'll pin it and people can be able to sign up. So let me, yeah, no cost to sign up. There is no cost. Again, y'all understand it's not a thing of you got to give us money. You got to give us money. That's not the goal. We're not trying to make, now if we have to have money for whatever reason, we'll let y'all know as we go. But really the money, if we did say that we were going to take in money, it's not taking in money for us, but more so of your particular region that you would be working with. And once you do that, it's more so of just, being prepared. Ain't nobody gotta go buy no land, ain't nobody gotta go do this, but there is a process where we can make sure that everybody's good. So
Right.
let me
We just really
let
want
me
everyone to do their, to whatever your gift is, wherever your part is. Everybody has a part. Everybody has. Most High giving everybody a part. Now, I am going to ask to do this is that when you are sent the link to join, if you send your email or whatever how you do it, and you join, go ahead and join it right then, because it's going to get stale. That link will get stale, and if you come back to it like 4 or 5 days later, it's probably not going to work. Okay, so that's just how it's designed, and you have to start over again. So once you get it, just go ahead, join it. Now, the ones who was at the session on the other night, when was it, Nikki? I mean, Sister E. On that particular, everyone we have their emails on that. We have sent you the link to join. You got it. Go to your email, click on it, and join it, and create your little deal right there, because I want to send out the link to the video, the live stream we're going to have on Sunday. I want to send it out. There's no sense of me sending it out if you haven't joined yet, because you're not going to get it.
Yep.
Make
And
sense?
I pinned it. I pinned it as well.
Okay.
So people can go in there.
Okay.
So
Okay. I'm
y'all is
excited about it. I'm excited about it. I'm inspired about it. I've been looking for something like this for the past, ever since really the pandemic hit. We knew it was time. It was time to start preparing, because we're going to see some things right here. You think you're going
yep,
somewhere? No, you're not. We're going to be here. We're going to be here, and we have to develop our own Goshen, until this indignation passes, until we are out of here. But we have to look out for one another right here where we are.
yep,
Nothing's new under the sun. What was will happen again,
yep. Because
and
if
we
you
have
when you
scriptures
look
to.
at to support it, yep, yep. Because Sheila, you remember during the time of Egypt, didn't the children of Israel see the judgments fall
Yeah,
on
they saw
Egypt?
they saw all of it. They were there.
They
That's how
saw
the
it all.
Most High. That's how He was able to make a distinguish between His people and the other people. So He distinguished the difference that He was. How else was He going to be glorified?
Yep.
Who's going to be the witness?
Yep. So this is it right here, y'all. Wow. He even gave Israel instructions. Why? Because he could have easily said, "Y'all go to Goshen. Y'all leave and go to the other side." Before he started administering the judgments, he told them in the midst of the death angel killing the firstborn, he just said, "Put the blood of your lamb on the doorpost, so that the death angel can pass you." Had they already crossed the Red Sea? No. They were in the midst of it and they saw it all. People don't understand the importance of that blood. That blood is symbolic to what the actual real lamb is. The ultimate lamb, which is Christ. And that's what's going to sustain us is the blood of Yeshua over our doorpost. And when we look at doorpost symbolizes your house, your temple, your body, the Holy Spirit. That doorpost has so many symbolisms about that. And with that being said, the blood of Yeshua has to cover your house so that if, and not if, but when judgment comes, judgment is going to pass your house. This is why people are going to say, wait a minute, I want to know who your God is. Take us to your God. We are going to be a light, and it's going to draw those that are not Yasharel to our God. And they're going to be like, wait a minute, take us to your God. How are you all able to sustain during this time? This is where faith has to be the root of who you are. Your faith is going to sustain you. Your faith in him.
Mm-hmm.
And when you run, it shows ye of little faith. That's why it's so important to understand the scriptures. And I think what hurt us, y'all, and I'm gonna be honest, y'all, and then we can get into when they feel the Black experience, because this is going to be an important conversation. I think we got so involved in who we are. We Israel, that some people lost their faith, and their faith lies within their one who they are, and not our faith lying in who he is. That's key right there. When you understand who he is, that's when you come to the realization that wherever I'm going, I'm going to be blessed. He was like, you go wherever you go. So me running somewhere, he says, if they tell you to go to the inner room, don't go. He's warning. Christ warned us in Matthews, don't run. If they tell you to go here, don't go. That was a warning telling us don't run. But we got to look up, because that's where our salvation is. So with that being said, y'all, I'm serious about this. And when I'm serious, I'm really serious about this, because the Most High has really been dealing with me. And when I tell you, he's been dealing with me in a way that I was talking to Sheila about this. It's just sometimes the Most High got to allow you to walk a certain way, but people are not going to understand. And that's where I am right now, because I would rather be in the will of the Most High alone than be outside of his will and be within the community, and then the Most High judges me. And I'm at peace with that, y'all. When I tell y'all I'm so at peace right now, because the Most High is real. Like I said, I was talking to Sheila a couple of nights ago. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but the Most High had to come to the realization and show me, when you first walked with me, you understood who you were, and I revealed to you and gave you that revelation. did you have a group of people around you, or was it just me and you? I said, Father, it was just me and you. And this is where I stand right now. I really stand firm on that. So it's a lonely walk, but it's not even really lonely. When you love them, you just be like, Father, let your will be done, so be it. So with that being said, the Father has really been dealing with me on, me and Sheila and people like Angie, different people like, Errol Spike, a lot of us that, Jay Hostyle, even Pastor Kelly, all of us that have said, no, that ain't what it is. He's been really dealing with us on this. And the biggest part of dealing with us is, what about my people? Are you going to leave them? He had been dealing with him. He said, are you going to leave them? I said, I'm going to hold you accountable. And that's why he had to reveal to me. I told y'all to take care of the orphan, take care of the widow, take care of the homeless. We've gotten so into ourselves that we forgot about the Great Commission. For y'all who don't know what the Great Commission is, the Great Commission deals with reaching out to the nations and the people and making disciples of men, baptizing them in the name of, Yeshua, doing all these things, bringing people to Christ. We can't forget about that, y'all. We can't run and hide and forget about the call that he's put on everybody's life to preach the word of Yeshua. That was the call that was put upon Israel. He didn't put Israel in place to go run in a cave and hide. If that's the case, so be it. You're going to have to deal with the judgment of the Most High. But he made us a people so that we can be a sign and a light to the nations. How are we a light and we're hiding in a cave? How? The Father's going to hold some people accountable, because the thing is, he called us to be a light. And if we're not a light and doing what the Most High called us to do, the Father is going to hold people accountable. He said, I never gave people this walk to fall into a dark place where they're more concerned about their lives. Paul never was concerned about his life. How many times did Paul and Peter and the apostles go into dangerous areas preaching the gospel? Did they go run and hide, or did they go and preach the gospel? Did they go and do what the Most High told us to do? No, they didn't. They could easily just hid in with the crowd or left and ran, but they kept going. And these people died for the faith. Our what we call our ancestors, they died for the faith. Paul's head was chopped off. Peter was crucified upside down. James was pushed off the top of a temple. These people were, I forgot which apostle. One apostle, and I think it wasn't just John from they got the vision, but it was another apostle. I forgot who it was. I think it was Timothy. I can't remember. Was boiled alive. But did they go run and hide, or did they continue on with what the Most High had called them to do? Preach the gospel to all the nations, and even in the last days, even with us building the Goshen is not meant for us to run, but it's a place for people to have refuge. And y'all, it's going to be some Gentiles that's going to find out and going to say, hey, my family ain't ate in days. Guess what we're going to have to do? Bring them in. There's going to be some people that don't look like us. They say, I haven't eaten. Help me eat. And that's a world of difference. And I can't walk in that. I can't walk outside of that, where I'm too busy like, oh, my people going to be saved. We're going to go hide, and we're going to hide in the cave. We're going to run. No. That's not the call. We have totally missed the mark. The Great Commission. Also, he said, take care of the orphan. Make sure we feed the orphan. Make sure we see. Even in the Bible during the time of the Old Testament, he made sure that there was grain and food set out for the poor so they can come and just take some and be able to eat. So with that being said, this is yes, take care of the widow. So with that being said, y'all, this is the purpose of the Goshen Project. We need men. We want men to be involved.
Hallelujah.
To be able to be the men of Yah, and don't be afraid.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
You have something you want to ask Sheila before I start talking about this other stuff?
No, you pretty much covered it all, and I'll hop off now. And the people are, the next part that they are coming in, they're coming in, and
Okay.
because we need each other, we need each other, we need each other. So I'll hop off now and let you
All
do your
right.
thing. Okay.
Thank you, Sheila. Make sure y'all sign up though. Make sure y'all sign up and make sure y'all hit the RSVP for the event. Like I said, go to the page, make sure you do the thing that sign up for the page, make sure you do everything you need to do so that you can be involved. Again, we want to make sure that we're able to be there for our people. And then if the stranger decides to cleave with us during this time, let them cleave. It says that the Gentile will grab the skirt of the Hebrew during this time. But we got to take care of each other. We got to be about us so that we can be strong enough as a nation, so that we can be the light that the Most High told us to be, so that we can function like a Peter, so we can function like a Paul and all the great apostles in the Bible. We get so caught up that we talk about Judah and the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom that we forget about, what did Peter do? Peter wasn't just about, even when you look at the New Testament really didn't delve into their tribe. You just knew they were the southern kingdom because you knew the northern kingdom was already in exile. You knew they were with the southern kingdom, but it really wasn't focused on them being Israel, but it was really focused on the work and the call that Israel had on their lives. If you notice that within the books, when we start getting into the Gospels, they didn't talk about Peter being the tribe of Benjamin, the tribe of Judah. They talked about the Great Commission, but you knew they were Southern Kingdom. I had a conversation with someone, and they were asking me, we were talking about the New Testament. And in the New Testament, how the New Testament was in the past. I said, the New Testament is not in the past. We're still living in a time of what we consider to be the New Testament. Now, keep in mind, y'all, I don't want y'all to think that I'm just out here and like, forget my people and let's focus on the Gentile. No, my people, we all we got. We got to heal as a nation and come together and do what we need to do. But we don't, if a Gentile cleaves upon the skirt of a Hebrew, got to let them cleave, y'all. Y'all, I'm seeing things different. I'm seeing things so different that it's just like, I'm not going to say I see things different. I'm growing. And growth sometimes is painful, but it's also freeing. It's freeing. And one thing I will say is the freedom and the liberty now that I have, that the Most High has given me, I praise Him for it. To be able to speak His truth and not my truth and not everybody else's truth. Not everybody else's truth, but His truth. So y'all, let us cleave to Christ so that we can be the light. That's what He always wanted us to be, was a light. A royal priesthood to the nations. That's what He called us to be. And we got to be that priesthood. We got to do that. We got to make sure our people are good. And then, like I said, the Gentile that wants to cleave, you know, allow them to come in. This is I'm telling y'all the thing that the Most High is dealing with me on. And I ain't saying I'm special, y'all. I promise you, I'm the. I ask him every day, Father. Every day I'm going before him to repent because I know how I am. I will lose my temper. He's still dealing with me and how I respond to people. I ain't nobody special. I'm tons of shortcomings. Some of the people that really know me know that I will flip off so quick and then be standing there like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have used that word. Father, I repent for cussing. Cussing so that I have some growth. And I know the Father is working with me through the process. But through that process, the Father just sometimes says, I need you, beloved, to walk alone. I said, So I've separated from a lot of people within the YouTube community. You will not see me on panels anymore. You will not see me in discussions anymore. And it's not by accident, but it's on purpose. I praise the Most High for the season that I was in, but I praise the Most High for the season He's about to take all of us into. Gonna have to walk away from some things and some people, y'all, in this season that the Father is gonna tell you walk away from. Not because they ain't running and fleeing. Oh, we got to know because they're not good for your walk and you becoming closer to the Most High. And be at peace with it. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it isn't hard. I'm human, y'all. But one thing I will say is the Most High, I don't play with him when it comes to his will on my life. No, he ain't got to whoop me. He didn't whoop me enough in my life. I'm good. I'm good. So with that being said, y'all, I don't want to stay here. So what I really wanted to talk about, and we're finna get back on subject. And again, make sure y'all go and follow up. Get on the site. I pinned the link in there. So you can be able to get in there and sign up. Make sure you go to the Goshen Project gathering and RSVP because I only see 3 people that have RSVP, y'all. I need to see that number go up. I see 4 people. Yeah, I need that number to go up. Again, once you sign up and you're a member, go right here. Go down here to the Goshen Project Gathering Room. Click that. You'll see that little emblem. And then right here, it'll tell you to RSVP. Make sure you RSVP. This is the event. These are the attendees that we see so far. Hopefully that number increases. I need to see more than 4, y'all. I'm going to be watching this link as I continue on with the conversation. I need to see more people sign up. So Sheila says that family, I will be removing the questions for approval so you can bypass that. In the meantime, just answer anything to bypass it. So that's what she's saying. Once you get there and they ask you the questions, just answer anything to bypass it. All right, y'all. So with that being said, let's get back to the business. All right. So let me go back to where I was. I lost my little page. I have a video that I wanted to play. So with that being said, the most important thing I want us to look at is, if you look, it's a lot of parallels in what we see right now in these last days in reference to what happened in Egypt. One of the things that they saw was, hello, Pastor Carlos. you know, you're always welcome as well to come up if you want, if you have time. I know y'all are doing y'all podcast in a couple of hours. Y'all go check out the Hebrew way. Apostle Carlos, you're welcome to come up as well. But if you see the parallelisms in or the parallels within Egypt in reference to what we're going through here, one of the things that we notice is the people, Israel saw the judgment hit Israel. I mean, hit not Israel, but hit Egypt. You know, they saw the death, they saw the famine, they saw all the things. And the thing is, the very thing that they was inflicting on them ended up impacting them. The things that they were trying to put on Israel ended up inflicting them. So what we're seeing right now in this day and time is the very system that they have designed to break us down is now breaking them down. You see a lot of people online crying and just upset and just, I lost my job. That wasn't fair. I was at my 30-day mark. I was on doing my probationary period, and they fired and they let me go. And now I have to get food stamps, and I was getting ready to buy a house. And I'm not celebrating nobody's downfall. But everything that they've experienced, we've experienced. How many of our people have started jobs, excited about the jobs, done your job to the T, and then get fired, and then they lie and say you were fired because of your inability to fulfill the job duties? And that's what they've been doing. Those people that they've laid off, they've been putting on it that, you know, you're not effective in your role. How many times have we experienced that? How many times have people have told us that? We've always had to deal with that. We take it to the chin and keep it going. That's how we do it. Now they're experiencing it and they don't know what to do. So that's why I said when they feel the Black experience, this is why I titled this. They cry, they can't function, but yet it's still, you told us to pull ourselves up from our bootstraps. You also told us that, you know, maybe you wasn't doing your job. Let's figure out how you can do your job. Or maybe you didn't, you know, no one would make that up on you. What would they gain from that? You know, maybe they see something in you, that you need to fix. You is them. They want us out the door. So they will figure out ways in which they can get us out the door. And guess what? The other people are feeling it now. So I'm gonna play this video. Share this tab.
One of those recently let go by the Trump administration, David Heidema, person responsible for overseeing ethics.
Let me do my fair use disclaimer, y'all. I'm almost forgot. Because they ready to come for us right now. All right, let's see. Let me go to my disclaimer. Okay, so with that being said, this is my disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, new reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Fair use. So I'm playing this video for education and research purposes only. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. And let me go ahead and do this little running banner real quick so we can have this going. And here we go. We get ready to play the video, y'all. Get ready to play it.
For the entire federal government. Today, one of those recently let go by the Trump administration was a guy named David Heidema, person responsible for overseeing ethics for the entire government. They with him here in Washington and asked him how he found out he was being let go.
I received a short, to the point, 2-sentence email from someone with the White House's Office of Presidential Personnel that essentially just said, on behalf of the president, he was informing me that I was removed from my position as director of OGE and thanking me for my service, and that was that.
I hear all the time about kind of an email. What was your reaction when you read it?
I'd say the overall emotion is really one of great disappointment. This job that I was appointed to is supposed to be a 5-year fixed term. So you kind of know going in that you will be serving across multiple administrations. So that was something I was considered. I had considered. I was committed for the 5 years. I was committed to working in good faith with any administration, including this one. I thought we were off to a good start. I really loved our mission and our team. So it really disappointed at that personal level.
There are now at least 8 inspectors general who were fired, a woman who was on the Merit Systems Protection Board, a handful of other people who are either suing or thinking about suing to get their jobs back, or to at least make the legal point that what the president did was illegal in removing them. Are you considering any legal action?
So this is all still so new and sudden for me. I really have no idea what's coming next, and I'm just starting to kind of turn my mind in that direction. So I'm really not sure.
Okay.
I think it sort of underscores the point. The one comfort, right, is it doesn't appear to be personal. I'm in good company, and it really speaks, I think, to an effort to kind of dismantle all of the institutions across the government that are set up to serve as kind of an independent voice for integrity and for accountability.
Given this focus on officials like yourself who were holding what were traditionally nonpartisan positions and ousting them often late on a Friday night, where do you fall on that debate over whether it's a constitutional crisis or something else?
I can speak to my position, what happened to me, and the role of the Office of Government Ethics. It was Congress that established OGE. It was in the wake of Watergate, around the same time as the kind of modern IG establishment was created. And the whole notion and structure was to have an organization still within the executive branch, but able to take a nonpartisan, non-politicized, matter of fact, by the book approach and be that voice of integrity where it's needed. And so I do think it's true that my removal from this position flies in the face of that vision of Congress. And in that sense, there is a problem in terms of honoring legislation and legislative intent.
Over the 4 years of the first Trump administration, there was a lot of concern about whether the guardrails would hold. You think they're going to hold over these 4 years?
I don't know, and I guess I will be watching from the sidelines now.
The Department of Agriculture is one of the many.
So the thing about this, we have always functioned, not quite, because whites have protection to cushion their fall. Not necessarily, nobody has cushion right now. Nobody has cushion. Hold on. Nobody's in a position to say that they know. Hold on. So nobody has cushion right now. With that being said, there was a time that someone like him, I'm just using him as an example, have always known what their next step is. Even if they wasn't sure, they knew something was coming. And they're going to always be the one that's the first one hired in the room. This is the first time in life that they actually feeling like, I don't know. How many times have we walked away from jobs, positions, been fired, been released from roles, and we didn't know when our next meal was coming? We interview for roles, and the minute they see our faces or hear our voices, their attitudes change. We've seen that happen numerous times. I've experienced it. I've experienced a lot in my career that my name is, and y'all saw my name. If you saw my name on a resume, And then again, because other ways of getting, you can actually, I have a place where you can see my picture, LinkedIn. You can see my picture. But sometimes when you go straight to the site to apply, they just pull your resume and then just be like, come in for an interview. Everything is not driven from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is just a portal. But I've had cases where when you look at my resume and you look at my name, you wouldn't think that I was a woman of color. I'm going to be honest. I've had people to say that to me. And then when you see me and you hear my voice, because we have a distinct way, I think it's the way our nasal cavities are. we tend to speak more from our diaphragm. Not to say they don't, but we have a tendency to, you can tell the difference in our voices in some cases. But when you hear us and you talk to us the way we sound, I've had people to turn the camera on, and I've turned my camera on. And I remember one interview that I had. I went through the first round with the HR, and HR thought I was a great candidate. Then met with the team, and then got to the manager. And the manager's attitude shift, and you can tell he came there with a mission to railroad. And I could tell he was trying to railroad me. And the crazy thing is, it's when I know something, I know something. And when I've done it, because I don't speak from book, I speak from experience. So when you ask me these questions dealing with situational type questioning, I can respond to it if it's something that I have expertise in. So you put me in those questions and answers, and we can go back and forth. He asked me one question though. He said, "Do you know how to utilize ServiceNow?" I said, "I've worked on the ServiceNow, and I can speak to now. Now, keep in mind, I've done operational leadership, help desk director, been a over operations. I've had large teams. I've done a lot of stuff. Built initiatives up from nothing, just looking, just doing analysis. I've done consulting work. I've done a lot of things like that. My resume is tight. I say that much. My resume is kind of tight. Most High bless me. Yeah, ServiceNow is a ticketing system, but I've used other ticketing systems. I've used things like Jira. Jira is not really a ticketing system. It's more of a, just a whole service management model where you can do, Scrum boards, but you can build something that is not necessarily a ticketing system, but you can create forms for certain things. But from a ticketing system, I've used Cheerwell actually bought out Avanti, and Avanti and Cheerwell ended up, I think they were merging for a second. But I've worked with ticketing systems like Avanti. I've worked with ticketing systems like I remember Remedy. Yeah, I remember that. Fresh Service did a little bit of service now. Not a lot, but I've dealt with a lot of other service management tools. And if you know anything about service management tools, all of them are the same. Now, ServiceNow is a little bit more difficult. It is, because it's got a lot of back end things, and you can be able to customize a little bit more. It's a lot to ServiceNow. But it's not something that I can, won't have a hard time doing. But I do have a skill set to be able to work through those things, like, building out operational models, building out maintenance plans after something has gone into production. I've done all these things. The man took me to an interview, y'all, and created dashboards. I've done that too. Built back end SLAs so that we can be able to manage how we're running from a service desk perspective, to make sure that we identify key service IT services that are critical systems so that if they go down, we can be able to have a quick plan to bring them back. I mean, I've done it all. And went into the interview, y'all. Man was asking me all these situational interview questions. He's a white guy. He took his glasses off, put his pen down. He looked at me. He said, okay. He said, next question. He said, what is the acronym for change within ServiceNow? I said, excuse me? So acronym means that, and tell me if I'm getting too much in geek mode. When you're dealing with different forms within these ITSM tools, you have things like request fulfillment. That's usually called a service request. So the acronym in the front of it may be SR-4585. If it's an incident is a service request is just, I'm asking for access to this. An incident is if something's broken and we need to fix it. So it will come in under a different queue, which is an incident, under a different service model, which is considered to be incident, y'all. And I'm sleepy, so I may say some crossed up stuff. Just bear with me. So incident's normal acronym in most models are INC, meaning incident, INC. Service request is usually SR, or I've seen places where it's ROs, where it's request offerings. Then you have something called change. It's the abbreviations. Yep, the abbreviations. So he said you have something called change management. Change management is a whole nother ticket environment. They usually come in as CHN. That's the abbreviations. He proceeds to ask me, he said, so what's the abbreviation in ServiceNow for change? I said, huh? Now I've explained to you the concept of change management and how to manage change within in environments, and how I've built change models for companies. And you sit here and ask me that question. And I said, CHN. He said, what is the acronym for, or the abbreviation for, a service request? I said, well, it varies. Some environments I've worked in, it's usually either SR for service request. I've seen things that say RO for request fulfillment or request offering. Well, what about incident? I said, well, incident is one of those that are fairly, everybody pretty much says INC. But I was kind of unsure of my response because I was not that deep in ServiceNow. Don't you know he did not hire me because of that? Y'all, I sat there and it was a smack. Now keep in mind, this company was based in North Carolina. That was smack to my face. I sat there and I said, what? He said, you don't have the HR, even the talent team or the HR person I was dealing with was like, I'm shocked. Why would he say that you are not a good fit for the team? She was shocked. I said, that's fine. And I walked away and I said, I would never want to work for that company again. Apply for that company again. The company was based in North Carolina. He didn't want to hire me because of that. I just sat there and just shook my head, y'all, and said, wow. But these are the things that we deal with, and we don't let it tear us down. I know I went too deep into it, y'all, but I wanted to give y'all a picture of what I've seen. We don't allow it to break us down. We just say, okay, moving on to the next one. That's our mindset. I had one of my white leaders tell me one day, he said, how do you deal with your adversities? He knew it was adversities. Being a Black woman, he knew it. I said, I just keep going. He said, what? I said, I just keep going. It stunned me. He sat there. He said, so everything that you've dealt with within your life and your career, the good days, but even the rejections. I said, you just keep going. And he was a pretty good guy. He was a cool guy. I liked him. Me and him are still cool. He was a great person to work for. He was just quiet for. He said, the trauma that most of y'all have dealt with. I said, the trauma that we've dealt with within corporate America, me and him had a real talk. And keep in mind, this man is at the level of a CIO, a CEO. This dude is a VP level. But me and him were friends. And I told him, I said, the things that I deal with, if I let it get to me, I can lose everything around me. I said, I have to keep moving because I have to take care of my daughter. And with that being said, I have to take it and pack it and keep moving. Take it, pack it, and keep moving. Take it and pack it and keep moving. You can't allow it to cause you to go into a tailspin, because if you do that, that means I would be crazy right now. I said, I just have to keep moving. But as I was telling him, I started crying and didn't realize it. Like I said, he was a friend of mine. All white people ain't bad, y'all. All white people are bad, so stop it. And we just talking about it, and I just and me and him were just having real dialogue. And I kind of had a tear roll down my eye. He said, I cannot imagine me walking in your shoes and having to deal with the adversities that you deal with. And your only answer to me is, I just keep going. The whole day he was like, wow, just keep going. This is how we deal. I can't scream and cry. I can't get up and protest and fight in the middle of the street, because the day I protest, that's another day that my family don't eat. I can't go and run to HR every time something goes wrong, because then I become a problem, because I'm a Black woman. I'm a troublemaker. A target is on my back. So when people come at me, I have to learn how to deal in toxic environments. He made himself an advocate for me. He really did. He said, whatever I can do to help you. He said, whatever I can do to help you. And he meant it. Like I said, again, every white person isn't bad. I've met some cool people in corporate America that don't look like me. I had another, female leader that I dealt with, and she was like the same way, and always was, hey, she used to always say, we all we got. And I'd be looking at her like, but still, that's what we deal with. Now, on the flip side, this community has never had to deal with that. They don't know how to keep going. Pack it down, keep going. Pack it down, keep going. Okay, I lost my job. I'm going to cry for a day. I may cry for a week. But I got to get up and keep it moving. I got to keep it moving. I got to keep smiling. Bill collectors reaching out to me. I got to keep smiling. People repouring cards. I got to keep going. People, credit card, my credit score dropped. I got to keep going. Bills are due, lights cut off. I got to keep going. That's how we function. They've never had to function like that. And this is what we're getting ready to see. People respond to something that they're not used to. I hate to say it, toxic work environments, in this type of environment, trauma. We always function in trauma. And we know how to function in trauma. We know how to navigate in trauma. That is so, that's horrible to say, but we know how to navigate. When things get too good and too easy, we get scared. They don't know how to deal with that. They're used to everything being good and easy and quiet and peaceful. And, I can make a mistake and I won't get crucified in front of everybody. But if they make a mistake, they don't get crucified. But if I get a mistake, if I make a mistake, it's a conversation of my skill set and that I picked the right person for the role. They've never had to deal with that. They've never had to compete from a global perspective. Now they're competing with India. They're competing with Hispanics. They ain't never had to compete like that. Because guess what? India is going to charge less for the work. you know, all the other groups it's gonna be a little bit cheaper. We've always had to compete against the world. And this is different. So I'm gonna keep playing this video, y'all.
Federal agencies hit by President Trump's mass layoffs. According
So the next video I'm gonna play. Y'all, and this is so interesting. And when I play this video, every Black woman has felt this. I'm gonna say every, but majority of Black women have felt this. So I'm gonna share. Hold on, let me go to my video. I can't find it. Hold on. Where is it? It's under my watch later. Here it is. Bear with. Here we go. Now, I saw this morning. I don't want the commercials. Yeah, I saw this morning. And when I saw it this morning, I said, I got to talk about this. Now, see the face that they show on this video. Y'all tell me what sticks out to y'all. I'm going to share this. It says right here, fired federal worker turns to food stamps. And you see this family right here who is a Black family. But I'm going to play it for you.
She's now applied for food stamps. A fired CDC worker says she's now applied for food stamps and public assistance to make ends meet. She lost her job as the Trump administration tries to shrink the size of the federal workforce across the country.
She worked for the federal government almost 10 years before she was let go this month as President Trump and Elon Musk work to shrink the size of government. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us from downtown Atlanta to share her story. Angelique.
Yeah, good afternoon to you both. This single mother tells me that she has worked hard all.
Thank you for your super chat. We Woke Ministries. What's going on, Pastor Kelly? Pastor Kelly. Thank you so much. Five orange hot wings stand out. You know, I'm so tired of him. 5 hot wings. But thank you so much for your super chat. I'm still going to talk about you. But whatever. But you're welcome to come up here too as well. I'll drop the link. And you're welcome to come up here. I'll drop the link for you. Pastor Kelly. So if you see the video itself, it shows you a Black family. Did y'all notice that? When it says that fired federal worker turns to food stamps. What did y'all see? Y'all saw a Black family. Y'all saw a Black husband. And then when I saw it, when I first saw it, I said, Black woman on here talking about she had to, what is this? And then they said single mother. And I was like, she had a whole husband next to you. Y'all see the games that they playing? It's a little manipulative, but let me keep playing it.
All of her life. She says she was just 66 days away. Yeah, good afternoon to you both. This single mother tells me that she has worked hard all of her life. She says she was just 66 days away from completing that probationary 2-year period when she received her pink slip.
It had said that it was due to poor performance, but I've never had poor performance. I've never had a poor performance appraisal. I've worked for the government for almost 10 years.
Carolyn Corrigan says.
Why did they have a Black family on there? Did y'all see that? And she's the one that they talking about. Y'all see that? Y'all saw, it went from that Black family to her. Y'all. But we gonna keep playing.
Her termination from the CDC was
I've never had poor performance. I've never had a poor performance appraisal. I've worked for the government for almost 10 years.
Carolyn Corrigan says her termination from the CDC was a slap in the face. The single mother of 2 college daughters says she worked her way up from a janitor position to an education technician, making $67,000 a year.
Now, keep in mind, she went from being a janitor to a trainer. That's exactly what she was. She started out as a janitor. And they moved her up to, not to say she jumped, she probably worked her way, but that's called access. Most janitors I know, y'all. But here we go. I'm gonna keep playing it.
But February 15th, $67,000 a year. On February 15th, it all came crashing down when the CDC informed her she was fired.
I earned every promotion with dedication and hard work, and now it's devastating. I don't want to cry.
The 41-year-old says she wants Elon Musk to know she is not just a number, but a human being who now has to turn to public assistance to live.
I did apply for food stamps, back to Medicaid, and I also, for the first time in my life, applied for temporary assistance so that I'm able to pay my rent.
Carolyn says she is looking into joining a class action lawsuit and has appealed her firing with the Office of Special Counsel.
For the first time in my life, I was this close to like being able to buy a home for me and my children. Sorry, I was able this close to being able to make a livable wage for me and my daughter. And in 1 second, I'm so sorry. In 1 second, that was all taken.
Republican strategist Brian Robinson says voters put a president in place who would shrink government.
For conservatives in this country, we believe that the government does have to be smaller, that there will be some pain involved. And the president and Elon Musk said that there will be some pain in this transition.
Now, Carolyn says that Office of Special Counsel has been really helpful in navigating her through this very difficult time. Live in downtown, Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Angelique, thanks.
When I saw that, I said, first and foremost, well, who was the black family at the beginning? I'm like, so why did y'all show her? Why didn't y'all show the woman who had to get, why? It's propaganda. It's a propaganda to push to make us the face of welfare. They ain't finna make them the face of welfare. Somebody should have called that out. But yet it's still. How many of us have come into jobs and been like, man, this is it. I finally got a job. I'm making it through my probationary period. And they pull a fast one on you. They pull a fast one on you. And you're sitting there saying, wait a minute, hold on. What do you mean for performance reasonings? There were people that said that they got hit with performance issues and they got evals that said that they were exceeding expectations. I sit there and I said, oh, okay, y'all ain't never experienced that? Y'all ain't ever experienced that? You never went through the proper channels of improvement, and then all of a sudden you think you're doing a good job, and they pull you in the room and say they're going to put you on a PIP. And you say, wait a minute, where does PIP come from? And you run to HR and say, wait a minute, they're supposed to take me through the process. Nope. They can be able to bypass the process and take you straight to a PIP just because you probably said something to them that they didn't like and they felt they were uncomfortable with. How many times have we've gone through that where we've been the top performer and one mistake can destroy your entire career there? We have no room for mistakes. I'm sorry, y'all. I was kind of clear my throat. My throat was itchy. But we have no room for mistakes. And they're saying poor performance. And I'm sitting there saying, we experience that all the time. But they just randomly say stuff. Random. And it'd be so random. And we'll be sitting there like, wait, how did we get from this? I've said, and hold on. I have been in conversations and be like, wait a minute, how did we get here? So I'm gonna play this other video. I didn't finish this video, so I'm gonna play it. I'll go back to this video. It is how many minutes long? It is 25 minutes long. We can get through it. We'll get through it, and after this, we done.
The Department of Agriculture is one of the many federal agencies hit by President Trump's mass layoffs. According to a number of staffers, emails started going out on Thursday without warning, leaving supervisors off guard and potentially hundreds of people without a job. Tabitha Panis is one of the many USDA employees suddenly informed their job was terminated last week, and she joins me now. Tabitha, I'm sorry we're speaking under these circumstances. I know emotionally how hard something like this can be, and the stock you have to take. How has this process gone for you, and what are your biggest concerns now about taking care of yourself and your family?
Hi, thank you so much, Lindsay, for having me. I really appreciate your kind words. It is a very challenging time, I mean, it's kind of been up and coming that our positions are not secure, but considering that, the Department of Agriculture is so important to our food security and our farmers in the Midwest, I was surprised to be terminated from this position. So obviously I'm seeking different employment going forward, but still just kind of taking my time to process everything.
I want to ask you about something that you said, because there are people who believe that the federal government does need to shrink, but can you talk to us about the work you did and why you think it's such crucial work, especially right now?
Yeah, definitely. So with USDA, I was a natural resource specialist, and I work with farmers and producers to help implement voluntary conservation practices on their land. Farmers come to our office to seek out our assistance, and we work with them in their operation to help ensure that they are treating resource concerns and are profitable in doing so. So one of the biggest resource concerns we work with in the state of Iowa is soils and our soil health concerns. We currently are in an eroding environment in the Midwest. So it was tens of thousands of years of tall grass prairies that built our super healthy topsoils in the Midwest, and is what makes our agriculture so profitable. And we are losing those when we have annual crops on the landscape. We understand that we're losing soil. So these soil health practices like cover crops, terraces, no-till practices are super important for our farmers, and they rely on us for that technical and financial assistance to get that done.
Wow. And Tabitha, before we let you go, this has a human toll too. I understand that there are some questions that you have, for example, health insurance. I mean, something as simple that we take for granted. Can you elaborate on that a little bit as quickly as you can?
Yeah. I mean, the termination letter was very informal and didn't have a lot of information at all about my benefits moving forward. So I'm still working with waiting back for an email from my HR representative to see if they can answer any of my questions in that regard.
Uncertain time. Tabitha Panis, please let us know how you're doing in a little bit. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
CBS News has learned that President Trump is pausing all immigration applications filed by migrants from Ukraine and Latin America. The Department of Homeland Security told immigration reporter Camilla
for being here, especially under these circumstances. He says, quote, less than
2 years still has.
Get a final expert review before you file at no extra charge.
Their international belong here.
A former employee with the Federal Aviation Administration is speaking out after he was fired from the agency last weekend. Charles Spitzer Statlander is one of about 400 FAA workers who were laid off by the Trump administration. He posted to LinkedIn that he received harassing messages from the official DOJ Facebook page after he criticized Tesla and Twitter, both owned by Elon Musk. He says, quote, less than a week later, I was fired despite my position allegedly being exempted due to national security. Charles Bitzer-Statlander joins us now. He's a former National Defense Program worker for the FAA. Charles, thank you for being here, especially under these circumstances. And look, I get it. You can't tell us exactly what you were working on, but can you give us a little bit of an idea so that we can understand why you believe it is a national security risk to cut your position?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on today. I do wish it was under better circumstances. I was an employee of the FAA National Defense Program, and we are a small agency within the Federal Aviation Administration whose mission is to ensure that the national airspace is protected from enemies, both domestic and foreign. That can be anything from, enemy planes like we saw on 9/11, missiles, enemy drones, anything of that sort. And we have a very, very critical and important mission in protecting national security. And I just, after the indiscriminate and unfortunate and likely unlawful terminations of so many of us, including someone like in my role that is a national security critical role, I'm deeply concerned about the safety of the national airspace and about how this is going to impact public safety.
Were you told whether you were being fired for cause?
It's a great question. I actually don't, I'm very confused about that, right? You would think most people, I guess, if they lose their job, they know who fired them, what they were being fired for, and all the circumstances around it. But because of kind of the haphazard way that this occurred, no one in FAA leadership actually knew that I was being fired or can even tell me as of today why I was fired. I did receive the standard email that I guess a lot of federal employees received, indicating something along the lines of my continued performance is no longer in the public interest or something like that. It was incredibly confusing for a few reasons, but primarily because the letter came to me at 12:43 in the morning on this past Saturday while I was actually working, had the wrong date on it, had a lot of spelling errors, came from a non-government email address. And I had excellent performance evaluations. I had just received a performance-based pay raise that went into effect this pay period. In addition to that, my supervisor had already, I was near the end of my probation, and my boss had already completed my probation paperwork saying that I had successfully completed probation. So when you take all of that into account, as the fact that my position was supposed to have been exempted from these firings due to national security and public safety, I was really caught off guard, and I wish I had more clarity for you to answer that question, but I just don't.
And I got to be quick with you on this next one because I do want to ask you a couple more questions. But can you provide any more detail about the harassing messages that you got from Doge on Facebook?
Sure. So as you, I believe you have images of, I exercised my First Amendment right in non-government time, not speaking on behalf of the agency, to criticize Elon Musk after he made what I believed to be Nazi salutes at Donald Trump's inauguration rally parade. And as a Jewish American, it was incredibly disturbing and hurtful to me. And I'm not entirely sure why, but shortly thereafter, I started receiving reactions, harassment, and what I believe to be intimidation and bullying by the Doge Facebook page on my Facebook page. And less than a week later, I was fired.
Like in DMs?
Responding to my posts and commenting on my posts.
My last question to you is going to be a twofer. First of all, what is your next move in terms of finding new employment, trying to get your old job back? And I know that you're speaking out because you feel like this is bigger than you. What do you hope people take away from your story?
Thanks so much for actually making that point. So to answer the second part of your question first, this is definitely bigger than me. This is not about Charlie. I'm just one of many federal workers who have been unlawfully and wrongfully fired. I just happen to be in a position that's a national security, public safety critical role. And I appear to have been targeted because I criticized Doge and Elon Musk. My next steps are actually, quite simple. Federal employees who are on probation don't have a lot of appellate rights. They only really have two grounds: if you're fired for marital status or political retaliation. And unfortunately, for most federal workers, they don't fall in, who are on probation, they don't fall into one of those two categories. But because of the harassment that I received from Doge, and because of other evidence that we have, that my attorneys have, and that we've been able to show, we have a really strong case that I was fired for political retaliation and or for political motivations in the process of appealing. But in order to appeal, my attorneys and I have to know who exactly fired me, when my termination is effective, and whether or not the entity that did fire me actually had standing to fire me, which currently right now it appears the White House is arguing that Doge doesn't necessarily have authority to make decisions. So just a lot of uncertainties right now, which is not what you want in national security and public safety.
What you want personally for your life, certainly. Charles Spitzer, Statlander, good luck to you.
All these individuals, when you look at it, could fit DEI. All of them. You got two Caucasian women we just shown. He admitted that he was considered to be a Jewish American. It's DEI. Hold on a second. Everybody that has been put in these positions will be considered to be DEI. Understand that DEI was never designed for us. We were used as the face of it, but it was never designed. So all these reports that I'm seeing are considered to be minorities. So I got another one.
This February at Renew.
But Weijia Jiang has been tracking down the jobs being eliminated. And Weijia, what have you found?
Well, we found that there is a group of more than 500,000 workers vulnerable to the administration's sweeping layoffs, and many serving key positions across the federal government. For some who have already lost their jobs, they're now desperately looking for answers. Why?
I'm really not sure what I'm going to do.
Katie Sandlin is still living out of boxes after uprooting her life in Carbon Hill, Alabama last month, a town of 2,000, to work at the National Institutes of Health outside Washington, D.C.
I wiped out my savings account. I maxed out my credit card. I had to take out a loan.
But she called her job an opportunity of a lifetime, educating communities about NIH research.
People like me, where I'm from, rural Alabama, like these kind of jobs don't happen to people like me.
3 weeks later, Sandlin became one of thousands of federal probationary workers to be fired. They had less than 1, or in some cases, less than 2 years of experience, and fewer protections from layoffs, making them easier to terminate.
Now I'm unemployed, I have a ton of debt, and I'm also losing my health insurance.
Did it ever cross your mind that you could be fired in a second?
That part actually never crossed my mind.
Did your supervisor give you a reason for why?
That comfort. He's letting them feel what we feel. He said, have you ever felt like, you took your job, you were going to lose your job? She said, that never crossed my mind. How many times have we, again, we're functioning out of trauma. We've always said, let me do my job because, look, I got to pay my bills. That's our favorite word. Even day one, we say that. It never crossed our mind because she's just like, I'm not going to, and I'm not saying that's what she's thinking, but that's what the perception, like when she said, she's like, that never crossed my mind. This is why these are going to be the people that ride in the middle of the street. We're not finna ride. while y'all riding, we finna be looking at these jobs and trying to apply for jobs so we can get another job. We ain't doing no lawsuit because it never worked. I mean, some lawsuits work for us. When you're finna go back and forth, what we're gonna do is get in front of this LinkedIn or Glassdoor or Indeed and start applying for jobs. We ain't got time for that. That's our favorite phrase. I ain't got time for that. I gotta find another job. So they're the ones that's doing the lawsuits, protesting in the middle of the streets. Now the board is saying he finna go to Boston. Boston and I got started. We ain't got time to protest. So they're feeling it and they don't know what to do. So the next thing is we're protesting. I lose my job. Let me go ahead and update my resume or something. So
why you were getting fired?
They made it clear that I was not being terminated because of anything that I had done.
An HHS official sent Sandlin a letter saying your performance has not been adequate to justify further employment at the agency.
When I got it, it really upset me because it felt like it wasn't true. My boss, her boss, and even his boss all said that that was not true.
CBS News data team.
How many times have we got hit with something that was not true? And we know it was a lie. We know it wasn't true. How many times have we worked on projects and someone has taken credit for it? And then once they get the information they want from us, they fire us. And we sitting there saying, that's not true. How many times have we faced that as Black? She says, I went to everybody and they said it's not true. Most of the cases, in some cases when we're fired, we know that the reason they're firing us is not true. What do you mean performance? When Timmy over here takes our lunch break, I probably take a 30-minute lunch break if I take one. I'm gonna keep playing.
Team found that at the Veterans Health Administration, which implements the health care program for vets, probationary workers account for 30% of the staff. At the Department of Agriculture, it's 19% of the branch that performs food safety inspections. When it comes to air safety, about 1/3 of the TSA may be impacted. So far, 2,000 probationary workers at NIH have lost their jobs.
What does the public stand to lose with these widespread layoffs?
We are important and we do important work. We're impactful. And if you have questions or concerns about federal workers, ask one.
Weijia joins us now from the White House. Weijia, what does Katie do now?
Well, she says she can't afford to move back to Alabama after shelling out so much money to move here to the D.C. area. So she's focused on looking for a new job. But she points out how daunting that is, considering there are now thousands of federal workers in the same boat who are competing for those positions.
And Weijia, probationary workers are potentially vulnerable. Do we have any of them ending up like Katie? Like how many that could amount to?
Well, just because they are probationary workers does not mean they will automatically be fired. In fact, depending on the agency, some are considered critical, and so they have exemptions. And remember, they can only be fired for poor performance or misconduct. In Katie's case, she says it was neither. So, John, that lawsuit you mentioned is just one of several, including class action lawsuits in the works.
So with this, the whole point of this is this is a life we live as Black, the Black experience. You say, what is the Black experience? That experience. That's the downside of that experience. Walking into a job and being the first one hired, the last one hired and the first one fired. They said that the competition is thick and they say it's going to happen. They got the stage of competition has flipped. We were aware that the competition, what's crazy is we're usually the least paid person in the room. And that's what they're looking for as well. The ones that ain't making the majority of the money. Because when you think about it, and I'm going to go back into the other point I was getting ready to make. When we get these jobs, we usually at the bottom of the pay band. Unless we understand, they don't let us know what the pay band is. but we negotiate to the point where we can get a decent salary. But being honest, everybody's not getting a decent salary. Everybody's not getting the top of the pay band. Majority of us are getting bottom, possibly mid-level of the pay band. They're going to ask much more. They're going to get more as far as the pay band. So guess what? They're looking at cutting costs. So guess what they're finna go for? The ones that make the most money in some cases. In some cases when they're doing this type of stuff. So guess who's going to float under the radar in some cases? It's going to be some of us because we are the least paid person in the room. They still got to do the work. So we're finna go for the least paid person in the room that's going to actually do the job. And the person who is the higher paid, they're expendable. We're finna let them go. This is just, you're seeing it play out before the world stage. And thank you. Welcome to our world. Now, another thing that they have to take into consideration with competition or looking for another job, which we've always taken into consideration. People are outsourcing now. People are outsourcing, and they're looking at countries like India, where you would pay someone $90,000 a year for a position where you can get the same position in India for $6 an hour. That's how much of a gap, or $13 an hour. Most definitely they finna look at outsourcing. So they have to compete with them because no longer are we siloed as just the region of the US. It's a global system. Y'all embraced the global system when it was beneficial to you. But now this very global system y'all have created is going to come back and bite y'all. Y'all, it's obvious right now when you look at how they've designed the system to hurt us, it's ultimately hurting them. Concept of at will. Who is mostly impacted by at will concept? Us. These DEI programs they're trying to demolish. We were the face of it, but guess what? We never benefited from it. If you look, majority of the women that are dealing with the issues are Caucasian women, which are the ones that really get benefits from utilizing DEI. We don't. So the very system they've designed to benefit them, but also keep us, put a foot on our neck, is now hurting them. The very food stamp system that they're talking about. A lot of Black women back in the 90s was peeping game, honey. And in the 2000s, early 2000s, they knew this whole food stamp game was finna eventually come to an end. How many of our friends went and got degrees in 2000? I remember that. All my friends was utilizing these programs to get these degrees. And they was getting quick degrees, like a doctorate in 3 months. I'm like, wait, how? Baby, they gave us a way out, and we took it and we ran with it. So a lot of us came out of the system itself and knew that the system was eventually coming. We knew the system wasn't finna work with us when Bush was in office. We was like, oh no, we got to disconnect from this system. So a lot of us ended up coming out of the food stamps, coming out of assisted living, and started building our own. Getting the doctorates, getting the masters, getting heavily degreed, I mean, we did everything possible so that we can come out the system because the system wasn't working with us. So guess what? Y'all snatching out these food programs, the food stamps, the welfare system, and y'all think y'all impacting the black people, but the black community or the community of melanated people or Israelites, however you want to call us, we disconnected from this system a long time ago. Most High was getting us out this system a long time ago. Long time ago. I admit it. One thing I've never had any type of, government assistance before. other than I think the one time when I had just had my daughter and I didn't have a job, and I was in the middle of some foolishness with my ex-husband and ended up getting well, he was my husband at the time, but we were separated. Um Ended up getting some assistance to be able to get that baby milk. You remember back in the day, we was real big about that. Help me get some of this baby milk because breastfeeding was my child was greedy. So I said, we got to go back and forth between this breast milk and this Similac because this ain't working. So so that's the only thing I've ever received, and that was a very short stint. I was not working. I wasn't in college. I was just taking care of her and living with my parents at the time. And it was only for a short stint. It was very short. But with that being said, I've never had government assistance because I just never, and I ain't knocking my friends that did, because I had quite a few friends that did it. I just never wanted to depend because I don't, yeah, I knew that. I said, they finna end this quickly. So we never depended upon it. And the ones that did depend upon it, they kind of got out the system. But not the ones that still left in it. So all these programs and these that was supposed that was a byproduct of us, came through us, that we never benefited from, is getting ready to dry up. And he's drying it up right now. It's different. It's different. We've been functioning like this forever. Forever. We know how to make a meal out of nothing. We know how to make a meal out of anything. You got a bag of rice, you got a bag of beans, that's a meal. We ain't got to go on extravagant trips. We can sit at the house and just chill out. Let me just get basic in internet and just watch, YouTube. We've gotten now comfortable with just watching YouTube. We man, please. This is a newfound territory for us. So with that being said, that was the purpose of this video. Again, I'm not attacking anybody, but I'm bringing it to the attention of the masses that when they feel the Black experience, it's going to be a shock to them. And it's going to get worse from here, y'all. These people because they're talking about cutting more jobs. Have y'all heard? I think they said Trump said he's finna get rid of 375,000 federal employees. He's trying to build a smaller government. This ain't the last wave. It's going to be multiple waves. And guess what? They're not going to be used to this. These folks going to ride in the middle of the street. Ride in the middle of the street. And I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch. It says that in Deuteronomy that those nations that persecuted you, Most High going to judge it, and we're going to watch it. And we're watching it right now. Watching the judgment go forth right now. And then after that, we'll receive great wealth and we're going to bounce. But we're supposed to watch this live and uncensored. And we finna watch it go down. So, with that being said, y'all, it's just going to be, it's going to be interesting. This ain't the end. They ain't done riding. Like I said, they used to be in the ones to go buy the brand new cars, buying property and going on huge trips and having access, and they have a plan, and they are not concerned that the plan doesn't work because they know the plan is going to work. That's why all of them are saying, I didn't expect this. We always looking like, okay, so if the plan doesn't work, the next plan is this. It's not, they're not used to getting the no. So we already see people, cut up in the middle of the street because they're not used to it. They're not. So with that being said, stay tuned. We're getting ready to see more stuff. I think this administration is going to be the most interesting administration that I've ever seen in my life and in your lives. We're going to see some stuff. I go and watch the news every day just to see what's going to happen. I continually watch the news because I know this ain't it. It's about to go down. So, yep, it says the Most High told me last year to make my home comfortable as possible because I was going to be in it for a while. Yep. Yep. But we finna watch this we getting ready to watch it. We getting ready to watch this system collapse. He says that you're gonna see it. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch it. What does the scripture say? Let's go over to it real quick. Hold on. Here it is. There we go. So it is here it is, Bible Hub. Why I'm not going straight to okay, here it is. So this is what we're watching. This is what I think. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So I'm looking, we're in the middle of this right here. He says that also the nations whom you have served, I will judge. And after shall they come out with great substance. So he's going to judge them, and we're gonna watch them judge. Watch the nations get judged. That's a part of the prophecy. I'm sorry. I was coughing for a minute, y'all. And I was coughing hard there for a second. But yep. We're gonna watch. Sorry, y'all, allergy season. But yeah, we get ready to watch it. So that's it. That's all I got for you today. So hopefully I see y'all this week. I think some stuff gonna go down. Just gonna have everybody online. So it is what it is, y'all. It's about to go down though. So all right, y'all. Make sure y'all sign up for the event on Sunday. It's just gonna be an hour conversation. And we ain't finna be 5 hours. I only got an hour. We need to sit down and talk on Sunday to talk about the Goshen Project. And then from there, we're done, family. If you've not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. If you again want to be a part of the Goshen Project, I did pin it. It should be pinned in there that I pinned it, but I'm gonna put it also in my community tab. Sign up for the program, and I'll see y'all on Sunday. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your super chat, Pastor Kelly. All right, family. Love y'all, and I'll see y'all on Sunday.
All different type of information every week. Let me speak. If you subscribe, we going deep. Love Talk Sister E.